sure many of you have heard this story of the big bad wolf and the so-called wee little pigs. Today we're going to tell you the real story about Mr. Wolf, a hard-working salesman who just wanted to stay at the top of his game.
I want you to keep in mind, if someone came to your house or your house or your house and huffed and puffed and tried to blow your door down, how'd you feel?
Good afternoon, this is Magnolia Wrights. I'm standing outside the Superior Court of the Kingdom of Oo, where Mr. Jack Pigge has been convicted of attempted murder of Mr. Grey Wolf. The Kingdom's prosecutor described Mr. Grey Wolf as a successful salesman who was lured into the home of Mr. Pigge through the chimney. The defense counsel asserted that Mr. Pigge was merely defending himself from Mr. Grey Wolf, who, according to Mr. Pigge, was a very scary man.
I knocked on the door and he opened it just a crack, and he said, "You know, I'm having some problems with my front door, but if you could just come down the chimney, I thought about it and I'm gonna buy all the magazines you have." As I came down the chimney and slid down, at the bottom I fell into this giant hot pot of water or something, and I burned my backside pretty good.
Tell me, do you blow doors in?
Well, the doors are standing before I get there, so maybe I have something to do with it.
Celebrity chef Jack B. Nimble testified to both Mr. Wolf's and Mr. Pigge's culinary taste. The defense tried to discredit his testimony, however, by charging that he went by another name.
Monsieur Wolf, he is, how do you say, a vegetarian. He only eats the root vegetables, perhaps some cabbage, greenery, foliage.
How about the defendant? Do you recognize him?
Oh, Monsieur Pigge, oui, oui, oink, oink! Monsieur Pigge, he loves the wolf, as they say. Wolf sashimi, baked wolf, wolf in a clay pot, all the wolf.
Isn't this a picture of you?
Sacre bleu, where did you get that?
Isn't this a picture of you?
All right, you got me. I'm Jack B. Quick.
The defense then called on Mr. Pigge to describe the events of the evening in question. The Kingdom countered, asserting that Mr. Pigge had a long-standing appetite for wolf.
He tried to huff and puff and blow in my door, and luckily I have a very, very nice door. We didn't know what else to do, so we put a pot of boiling water in the chimney in case he tried to come in that way.
Mr. Pigge, what is this picture of?
That's a picture of me eating a wolf wrap supreme.
A wolf wrapped supreme.
Additional witnesses included Miss Pigge, who suggested that her cousin was behind the chimney plan, and Little Red, who said she was saved from Mr. Wolf by a lawyer.
There was grease on the chimney and a large vat of hot boiling water. Whose idea was this?
I do not know.
You sure it wasn't Jack's idea? Might have been Jack's idea.
I went over to my grand's house, and she wasn't there. And all of a sudden, I look in her bed, and it's the wolf, and he's in her clothing, and he's eating her, and he has these huge teeth, and he was just like, oh my god, hashtag totally terrifying.
How'd you get away?
Well, let me tell you, I screamed bloody murder, and this very nice lawyer man came over from next door and saved me because he threatened to sue the wolf, and he just ran off.
That's a lawyer from William Mary, I believe.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
It only took 60 seconds for the jury to convict the defendant, who, facing the return to the dungeon, made a rather bold escape.
By show of hands, how many of you are convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty as charged? Raise your hands if any. Mr. Pigge, as defendant, it's my duty as presiding judge to find you of the charged offense guilty.
I'm not going back. I'm not going back to the dungeon.
The court's bailiff, please take the defendant into
I'm out
custody.
of here.